Chad, Young Gun, Clifford. First of all, Chad, I just want to tell you something. You really shouldn't make jokes about children. He's got this bear, which he's trying to imply that I might have been sexually abused as a child. Chad, there's really children in this world. It's not a joke, man, that have gone through very, very horrible, horrific things. And you really shouldn't joke about that, okay? Look, man, I just call it how I see it. Okay, I call it how I see it. And when something looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it swims like a duck, normally it's a duck, Chad. Okay? Everything about you cries, I'm a homosexual. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, one of my favorite singer-songwriters and piano players is Elton John. So if you came out of the closet, Chad, look, you're like, I'm gay. So? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be ashamed. But Chad, it's like, I feel like you're trying to hide it. You know what I mean? Chad, like, just, look, I got to tell you something. Look, and I'm being straightforward. I'm not trying to break your balls. I'm really not. Chad, we don't call, like, men that are heterosexual, we don't call younger men young guns. We don't do it. We don't do it, Chad. We don't let strangers, young men, into our cars to take pictures. We don't do these things. I don't care. Even if the guy's name was, let's say the name of his company was Young Gun, I'm still not going to call him Young Gun. And I'm certainly not going to let him in my car. So you have to try to understand, Chad, that any which way you twist it, something is rotten in Denmark. Now, you know what it was, Chad? If this was the only thing with you, there's like several things. We never see you with your wife. Like I said, you've made videos with your daughter. Why not with your wife? It leads people to believe your wife possibly left you. Okay, maybe you're separated, maybe you're divorced. Chad, I'm sorry. It's just that's the way it looks. You see, like with me, you always hear my wife's voice. I talk about my wife. We talked about her health. I mean, but you know that she's an active part of my life. We don't know that your wife is an active part of your life. You're never with her, Chad. We never hear her voice, Chad. But we've seen your daughter on many videos. So it can't just be the fact that you don't, if it was like you didn't show your daughter, the assumption that would be you don't want your family in videos. But like I said, we've seen your daughter. We just don't see your wife, Chad. Something's not right. Okay? And this whole concept, how the time when you're in this hotel, Chad, you're a guy who has money, right? You're a successful guy. Successful guys don't stay in degenerate, trash, $10, $20 a night, vacancy, Norman Bates Motel hotels. People who go there, Chad, do very, very bad things. That's it. Like, who goes there? Like, all right, I'll tell you what. My wife is in the car right now. Jennifer, have you ever stayed, those like degenerate hotels, like those Bates motels? We've all seen them before. Mm-hmm. Have you ever stayed there?
No.
So now let me ask you a question. Let's just say, I don't know, you had a work trip and it was late at night and you see one of these hotels, these degenerate, like Bates Motel. Would you stay there if you were tired?
No.
You probably would keep driving until you saw like a respectable hotel.
Okay.
That's what normal people do, Chad. But you see, it's not that I'm trying to imply you're not normal. I think there's an ulterior motive. I think that you go to these hotels because you want to remain anonymous. You don't want people to know what you're doing in these hotels. And then now this whole Young Gun thing, the Young Gun, that kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. Because I'm really trying to say to myself, can I think of anyone else in this world that, anybody that would call a young man Young Gun, even if the name of his company was Young Gun? And the answer to that question is no. And then I also ask myself, would I let this complete stranger in my car who would proceed to take pictures? No. Chad, you fit the description of a sleazy old man who's interested in young men, robust men, masculine men. You want them in your car, Chad. And that's the facts. I just call it the way I see it. So you're trying to make it seem like I have some kind of, I don't know, past. I got no past, brother. I got no past. I call it how I see it. Okay, I would tell you, look, listen to me. I think I am the most honest person. I think I am the most transparent YouTuber. I've actually went as far to say my father put me in jail. Okay, because one time when my parents were separated, my father had a complete breakdown. May he rest in peace. God bless him, all right? But he made up a story, that I was in front of his house looking to harm him, which was all a lie. I was in Staten Island. Like, actually, when the cops came to my house 5 minutes after he made the police call, I lived all the way at the time in Princess Bay, Staten Island. I'm like, how did I get from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn in 5 minutes to Princess Bay? Because he said I was outside the house. My father had a nervous breakdown. My father had problems. Mental. He did. Mental. God bless him. I love him. He's my father. My parents didn't have a good marriage. And a lot of it, unfortunately, that's the truth. That's the truth, was taken out on me. And I always protected my mom my whole life. And I've always been there for my mother my whole life. And I still am to this day. See, now, see how transparent I am? I would tell you if I had some kind of a bad sexual experience as a kid. I would be honest about it. I had a very bad childhood, not in terms of, sexual problems, but there was a lot of fighting in my house between my parents. And I'm a transparent person, okay? But in no way, shape, or form, I've always loved women. I love my wife. I am 100% confident, no matter, you can make all these bad stories, I'm 100% confident in my sexuality. I am heterosexual and I love women. But I could also tell when someone like yourself, Chad, has a problem, and this is no joke, I believe that you are a homosexual, Chad. Because, Chad, young gun? You call someone... Jennifer, let me ask you a question. Don't you find it strange that an older man calls a younger man young gun? Like, what's your opinion on that? He's saying that the name of his company was Young Gun. Now, here's another thing that's strange. Chad is trying to make it seem like he supports this guy. Then why didn't you buy... Chad, wouldn't you have asked him for a business card? Wouldn't you have asked him for his website so that you could have... if let's just say you wanted to be a nice guy and you wanted to support his efforts as an entrepreneur. Chad, you don't even know Chad, you didn't know the guy's website. You searched like about 100 different younggun.coms or whatever. You don't know the guy's name, but yet you're saying you're supporting him. How you support? Sounds like you're supporting him in a different way, Chad. Doesn't sound like you're well, maybe you are supporting him financially to do some dirty deeds. Like dirty deeds, done dirt cheap. A little AC/DC in the house. I'm just saying, Chad, you fit the profile. All right. Now, if it's not true, listen, I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, Chad. There's something wrong with just your storylines. And I think that you really, really caught yourself here with this Young Gun story. You should have never said it. You made yourself look so bad. And I just want you to know, Chad, you're never going to be able to live this down. You might want to cancel your YouTube channel. Because, Chad, I'm not the only one. Everyone thinks that you're into the sausage. Big time now. It's not a joke anymore. We went from joke to serious. You're the one. You might want to follow in loose, footsteps. Delete your YouTube channel. Delete all your videos. Because this is forever going to haunt you. Forever. Okay, this video is not financial advice. Not a financial planner. This video is for entertainment purposes only.